episode of UT Trailblazer Talks. Today I'm here with
Alexis Vasquez.
And I'm Sarai Vasquez. And today we're actually filming from the Comm Council student area. If you are a Moody incoming student or a current Moody student and you want to make a difference in your Moody community, I strongly encourage you to apply. You can scan this link to our link tree and learn more about us. Now that that's out of the way, I'm so excited to get to know you today.
Well, thank you for having me today. I'm super excited.
Of course. So I won't spoil it for everyone else, but do introduce yourself.
Yes,
Tell us.
of course. Well, nice to meet you. If I haven't met you already, my name is Alexis Vasquez. I am a fourth year public relations major from El Paso. I am the current president of Communication Council, actually, so slight little plug-in if you guys are interested. It is the student governing body of Moody College. We're constantly working on passing legislation and really making Moody a great space for our Moody students. Aside from that, I'm also the co-president of Texas Public Relations Student Society of America, also another great org on campus, specifically in Moody if you are a public relations major. And yeah, and also fun fact, I'm a CAP student, so I transferred to UT 2 years ago, and I have loved it ever since, and it's been such an amazing journey, and now I'm entering my senior year, which is insane, but super excited to talk to you about all that today.
So first, could you tell us a bit about your passions and kind of how they led you to public relations?
Yeah, of course. So I've always had a passion for storytelling. When I was little, the first time I applied to UT was to be an RTF major. When I was little, I was constantly making like little movies with my little cousins and just really telling different stories. And then I got more into writing, and I got to like write articles and really tell stories with my family members and people that I knew. And I was just really interested in the way a story is told, especially by people, because everyone has their own story. And I thought, what better way to do that for a brand, to do that for other people, and that's what really interested me in public relations. And so Actually, my first internship was in a communications department at a local credit union, and still then I was still thinking about being an RTF and being a news anchor. And
when was this internship?
This was actually my freshman year. It was my first year. It was my CAP year, so I was still attending UT El Paso, and I was in the communications department, and I worked hand in hand with the PR head over there. And I was like, wow, this is really, really cool. You get to really speak for yourself, for your brand, and really elevate the company and put it in good standing. And I thought that was an amazing occupation to have as well.
That's interesting. And can you tell us a bit about what inspired you to go into the career path?
Yeah, I think I've always wanted to make a difference in any space that I enter. And I think with public relations, you're constantly bridging gaps between your company and other organizations and really putting yourself in a good standing. I also really like to elevate, obviously, minorities as well, and seeing people that look like me in higher occupations like public relations and speaking in front of the camera or speaking behind the scenes and handling crisis management. I've always saw it really inspiring because you truly are the face of a company and moving the company in the right direction. So that's why public relations has meant a lot to me, and really it feeds into a lot of other things. I've been involved with marketing and advertising and social media as well. So there's a lot of different avenues in public relations that has made it really, really interesting so far.
I want to talk a bit about the organizations that you're involved with on campus. You mentioned Comm Council, but obviously you do a lot of things around Moody. Can you tell us a bit about what you're involved in and how they have helped you professionally as well as academically?
Yeah, of course. So I have to talk about Communication Council first, since we are in the office. Again, I'm the current president of Communication Council. I joined the first year that I got to UT. It was my fall semester. I was still trying to find my space on campus, really trying to find an organization that I can make an impact, especially with Communication Council. You can see yourself always making that impact as you're passing legislation. You're constantly doing career activities for your fellow Moody students. So I applied. I was actually part of the media committee for my first 2 semesters, and then we were doing social media, doing little graphics. And then the next year, which was my junior year, I was the career and alumni relations chair. And within this role, we hosted career panels. We also had like alumni events within this. We had alumni tailgate, alumni bonfire as well, and it was just a really exciting time for me because that's also when I got really into LinkedIn and connecting with professionals and really elevating my network. Being card chair has been one of my most amazing experiences at UT so far. Just seeing kind of my committee members transform, and it was really awesome. I will pinpoint this. It was such an amazing thing to witness. It was our first career panel. We had a kind of like talk show type vibe. We tried to like do like a good morning type of vibe for it. We called it the interview, basing it off the morning show The View.
Yeah.
And my committee members put so much work into it, and the day finally came, and we had 4 amazing panelists. 2 were UT professors. We had someone from Amazon, someone from Dell as well. And I saw my committee members make their little way and do their professional handshake and network with them, asking them for their LinkedIns as well. And it was just really cool to see them flourish in that space, and also to see them like also see that event become such a success. And then the following semester we had a Jeopardy styled panel.
I was there.
That was super fun. It was Don't Put Your Career in Jeopardy, and it was same panel, but our panelists were pretending they were like in a little Jeopardy game. They all had like little buzzers as well, so whoever answered the fastest would get points. And the whole time they were answering networking questions, career advice, and it was such a fun event to put on, and it was really great to see my committee be so involved. I know Ray, he was like my co-host for that event as well, and then all my committee members were introducing each of the panelists. So it was such an amazing opportunity, and just to see my committee members kind of like flourish in that space.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of them have started like on their LinkedIn grind because of it too.
In general, I think everyone's excited to see what you do as president.
Yes, thank you so
Council,
much.
so,
Yes,
yeah.
and it's been so exciting so far. Just seeing new like prospective students that are interested in Comm Council, just being able to tell them how much of an impact it's made in my life, and telling them how much of an impact you can make at Moody, because I have witnessed it already, and it's just been such an amazing journey. Also, aside from Comm Council, I'm the co-president of the Texas Public Relations Student Society of America. It's a long name, but I also joined this my sophomore year. This has completely elevated my professional experience. I remember coming in, I know it doesn't really matter, but I only had like 20 connections on LinkedIn. I didn't really know how to network with people, or really to have like those conversations with professionals. I didn't know anything about virtual coffee chats or just sliding in LinkedIn DMs. And this really gave me the confidence to start going up to professionals and kind of asking them about their journey and how they got to where they are. In PRSSA, we have a mentorship program where they pair you up with a mentor in your specific PR industry that you're interested in.
Yeah.
And so I've had 2 mentors so far through PRSSA, and they are amazing. Sometimes we just get on a Zoom call. I'm like, hey, can you like check my resume before I apply to this internship? And they're more than welcome. They're more than happy to help me with that. But aside from that, it's just really helped me been able to network with great professionals in the industry. I've also gone to conferences with them as well. I went to Nashville for the first time for a conference. That was so fun. It was our international conference. They call it ICON. So I went to that my fall semester, and then in spring I went to Seattle also for the first time for our leadership conference. So that was super exciting. Last year I was the membership director and the vice president, and it's been really cool to kind of hone in on my skills with each of these roles. With membership director, I was able to talk to students and see where their passions lied in PR. Vice president, more so leading like leadership skills and stuff like that, and now co-president, and it's been really, really exciting so far, and I just love hearing about people's goals in PR.
Can I ask, you mentioned you had a mentor through
Yes.
Texas PRSSA.
Yes.
What is a piece of advice that a mentor gave you that completely like changed the game for you?
My first mentor, because my go-to little question to professionals is, what's one piece of advice that you know now that you wish you knew when you were beginning your career? This one always sticks to me because I'm a little anxious girl sometimes, and I remember him saying this so vividly, because he also sensed that I was feeling very anxious because I was applying to internships, and I was like, what's one piece of advice that you have that you wish you knew? And he told me, chill out. that everything is going to work in your favor. If you know that you're putting in the work that you're supposed to be putting in, if you have a passion for what you're doing and you know that what you're doing is going to make an impact, then you go with it, and you just keep on going with that. But also at the end of the day, to chill out, because everything is going to work in our favor. I know that's not like a super known advice.
Super helpful.
Yes, and that really stood out to me, especially with the chaos of being a college student. Your Google Calendar is constantly filled up with things to do, assignments to do, doing different internships. At the end of the day, we are college students, and we're really trying our best and doing the absolute most that we can do. And even with you, like, doing this amazing passion project, like, you're already like killing the game. So it's amazing to see so many college students like flourish. And at the end of the day, we just gotta chill out, and we're doing the best that we can absolutely do.
Well said. So you mentioned earlier that you're a CAP student.
Yes.
So a lot of people, when they apply to UT, they end up getting capped, and they kind of take this as a rejection, which it is not. What was your personal, experience being a CAP student, and then would you recommend it for other students?
Yes, of course. So I remember the day that I got capped. I was very sad because I was like, oh my gosh, I just got rejected, because I didn't see that I got the acceptance. But it was a very, very hard decision for me to make. Obviously, I did want to go out of town right away. I wanted to start putting myself in the industry and getting different internships. So it was a really hard decision for me to make, but at the end of the day, I realized that UT was the school that I always dreamed of going to, and it just meant that I had to work a little bit harder to get here. And honestly, the best way for me to describe it was a blessing in disguise, because at the time I was like, no, I worked so hard in high school, I got capped, and I was just so devastated. But little did I know, with that year, with my CAP year, I was able to professionally grow in ways that I never would have imagined if I had gone to UT right away, because I knew that there was a bigger goal for me, to actually get to UT and to really start working hard on my resume, and to really find out what it is that I wanted to do. Again, before I applied into as an RTF major, I wanted to be a news anchor before, and with my first internship and just that first whole year being at UT at Paso, I really found out where my interest really lies. So it was a really great experience for me. I remember the day that I got accepted into Moody, because with the CAP program, you get automatically accepted into liberal arts, but you have to additionally apply into the other colleges. So I remember the day that I got into Moody, and it was probably the most memorable experience that I've had. I remember like opening my phone, it was like, welcome to Moody, and I remember showing my family, and it felt like so much hard work to get to that moment. And I knew that hard work didn't stop there. And then I made my promise to myself. I was like, okay, I got into UT, I got into Moody. Now it's time to get to work, because I really wanted to make an impact in any space that I entered here at Moody and UT and beyond. But I definitely recommend the CAP program. It really allows you to make sure that what you want to study is what you really want to study during that CAP year, because you're very limited to what classes you could take. But it was also really good because I got to take all my basics out of the way. So once I got here, I started diving deep into my PR classes, which was really fun. But yeah, I'm really grateful for the CAP program. I'm so glad I did it, and 100% recommend it to anyone who has been capped, or who will be capped in the future. Do not get discouraged. Just another little stepping point to your successful time here at UT. And I've also made a lot of friends with a lot of CAP students as well. It's really cool to see some on LinkedIn as well. I know one CAP student, she just got in from UTSA, and she said, I've been following you, and like just seeing that you're at UT now and you were also a CAP student really inspired me to reapply into UT. And so it's just stuff like that, and I think it was just a really great experience for me. So a blessing in disguise.
I love that. A lot of students get discouraged, and then they just feel, completely hopeless, especially in the college application season.
Definitely.
It's brutal on every student.
Yes.
So I'm glad that, I know we're glad to have you here. So I want to kind of talk more about, your internship experience, exactly what you've done, like, under PR. Can you talk about one of your internships and just the experience outside of the classroom that has really helped you develop your skills?
Yeah, of course. So I've had different internships in different industries because, of course, I was still trying to see what PR industry or what overall industry I wanted to really work for. My first internship was at a local credit union, so that was my first time in like the financial space. I also had an internship in a medical tech like startup as well, so that was really cool because I got a lot of responsibility since it was a startup. But very grateful for all the lessons that I learned during that time. It was such an amazing experience. And then I recently also got into it's a tech company. It's a surveillance, video surveillance company. Did social media for them. And then this summer I had the opportunity to intern at Q2 Software. So really kind of honing in on the financial and the tech that I've had experience in. And it was an amazing experience, just to kind of see how bigger corporations really have that company culture that I've been searching for. And it really brought so much importance to me since I'm entering my last year and looking for full-time roles once I graduate, and really made me realize like where you work it matters a lot. And how the company treats their employees and really what the company's values. Even little things like that we don't normally pay attention to, but for instance, like celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, there's a lot of companies that don't really focus in on that, and when I see companies that do that, those are the companies that I want to work for. And it just really inspires you to do your best and really helps you see what you want to work for in a company. And I'm really grateful for all these internship experiences. I've got to work on like different campaigns, different like projects. And then within that, I've learned so much from various individuals. This was like a bunch of like leadership skills, because a lot of my managers have inspired me in so many ways, and I could touch base on that later, but just the way they lead a team, they just lead with passion. And I absolutely have been motivated, inspired by so many of my managers that I've had.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, especially I think a lot of people, when they're graduating, they don't really think about what type of company do I want to work for. They're more concerned on, I need to find a job.
Exactly.
So I really like that you really have like an intent, like I want to work for a company that not only I can bring my skills to the table, but they can be of suit to me,
Exactly. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Okay. And can you describe a specific project or something you've done under an internship that you're particularly proud of?
Yeah, of course. So actually, ironically enough, it was my first ever internship. I talk about this in every interview that I have, and with any professional I have this conversation with. I was a little freshman in this local credit union, GCU. I'll shout them out because so much of my success has stemmed from that first internship that I had. Of course, this was a time in my life where I'm like, okay, I need to start building my resume. I need to get into UT. Let's start looking for internships. So I applied, not really thinking I was going to get it since I was a freshman. And this was my first ever internship as well. But luckily I did get it. I was their communications intern, and I worked on various aspects in the communications department. I was writing blogs for the company website. I was also kind of overseeing the social media. But something that I never thought that I would touch as an intern, I helped with the website redesign project that they had. It's a funny story that I love to tell. The website developer at the time who was teaching me about the back ends of web development, because at this time I had no web development experience. He was teaching me how to do everything, how to code, and at the time also I was like, I'm just a little girl, I don't know what I'm doing. And then I want to say about 2 months into my internship, it was a year-long internship, he unfortunately did have to leave, and he told the head, my manager, hey, Alexis got it, just leave it in her hands. And as a manager too, I'm still in touch with her all the time. She's been such an amazing person in my life that I really look up to. At the time, she was like, our intern? What? And then I remember the exact conversation that we had when she called me into her office and kind of said, hey, so this is happening, but they said that you're gonna be in charge of it. And I was like, oh, really?
This was news to you.
Super nervous, yeah. But yeah, I just took that as an opportunity for a leadership opportunity. I worked with another member on the team, and we had daily stand-up calls with our the people who were involved in the web redesign project, and just troubleshooted any problems that we had. We worked on different sprints each week, and just and we just also saw like the progress of the website. And it was such an amazing opportunity. We were able to, and I don't know the exact numbers off my head, but we were able to do so many pages of the website, English and Spanish, and we were able to launch by the end of my internship, and it was such an amazing experience. I remember we also had a symposium at UT El Paso, and I was able to present all of the work I did at GCU, and I got first place, which was really cool because I got to like really like represent
as
GCU.
A freshman intern as
yeah,
well.
and it was
That's
really
great.
awesome.
Yeah.
And I really stayed true to that internship because that's really where I started. That's where I started like my project management, but I really got close to the team, and that's where I really understood that great work derives from passion, because all of these amazing individuals working together on a team have one passion, and that's just to make a better space for everybody, especially with the local credit union. Us producing content in Spanish, since we live on the border, was such an amazing thing to provide that content too, because it's financial literacy, and we also provided that in Spanish, and everyone was just working towards to make that a better space for everybody, and their main philosophy was people helping people, and I stay true to that all the time because truly we are all here to help each other, and that was such an amazing internship.
Wow, that is really impressive.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you.
This might be a bit unrelated. You speak so eloquently.
Oh, thank you.
Is there any way that you developed your speaking abilities? You know, they're super important, especially, you know, you're a big networker, you're always meeting new people. How did you develop your speaking abilities?
I think once I started having to talk to professionals my freshman year, when I was leading these meetings, I couldn't just be like, oh, LOL guys, let's go on to the next. And so it really allowed me to kind of be more confident in my speaking skills, and then with public speaking, it really helped the communication council when I was the current alumni relations chair. We speak at every general meeting just to give updates on our committee, so that's where I really was able to public speak a little bit more. Also with Texas PRSSA, where we have networking events every semester, so it really gave me the courage to go up to a professional, just be like, hi, nice to meet you, I'm Alexis, and kind of give my little elevator pitch and just learn more about them. But I think just really finding my confidence in speaking, either if it's one-on-one with somebody, one-on-one with a professional, or just even a peer, or speaking in front of a group of people, just having that confidence and knowing at the end of the day, like, I know I was really nervous if I was gonna say something or say like a lot. But we're all students too. We're still growing in our professional careers, and we gotta start somewhere. So that's what really helps me with speaking.
Awesome. Just to wrap this interview up, what is a quote or mentality that you personally live by?
Ooh, this is a good one. I think do everything with a purpose. This quote has meant a lot to me, especially with it ties in with like optimism, positivity, and just doing things with a smile. I'll bring this up because I did want to talk about her in my interview, but my grandma has been the biggest inspiration in my life. Unfortunately, she did pass away the summer before I came to UT, and I remember I was with her when I was doing my application. I was like, oh, grandma, like, I'm gonna do it, like, what do you think? And she read my essay, and everything that I do here now, I know that came from the courage that she gave me, and just her emphasizing that she did everything with a purpose. She was constantly doing things with a smile, and that's why no matter what, like if you're in a grocery store, if you're at work, if you're at school, smile, because that can literally make somebody's day, and that just derives with doing everything with a purpose. Walking down the street, do it with a purpose. You're going somewhere and you're gonna do some great things over there. And that has really kind of wraps up everything that I've done so far. Obviously I have so much passion in storytelling, and I have so much passion in being inspired by others, but definitely want to shout out my grandma. I know she's watching down, and smiling because I know she smiled every single day of her life and she was amazing, and I want to bring that positivity that she put into my life and just do everything with a purpose just like she did. So that's one of my greatest
sweet.
ones. Thank you.
I know she'd be very proud of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And yeah, I love that piece of advice because I feel like as students we get so caught up in just trying to work hard and be the best that we forget what we're doing it for.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Well, that concludes our third episode of UT Trailblazer Talks. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I had so much fun yapping with you today.
It wasn't too scary.
She is awesome, guys. If you get to interview with her, she's amazing and she's doing amazing things. So proud of her.
Thank you.